ready for you. We're ready for you.
How's everybody doing?
Not too bad.
Man, at least you guys picked the shade.
Well, yeah. You picked a good day. It's been so smoky.
What's going on with this smoke?
I'm Jane.
What's going on? Just trying to look like you. Yeah, Scott told me about it.
Yeah.
Scott told me about it.
So, yeah, it's been shut down for a long time.
They claim that it's playing really nice.
They took out a couple of trees.
Yeah. Oh, you mean you were
Yeah. So, you know.
you were hitting
I can't get
hitting into the machine?
you're hitting into the trees, so they took out some trees, so they made it really nice.
Yeah, they're very nice people. They're very nice people. Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. You guys ready? Gonna give me some sort of a cue here. All right. Well, good afternoon, and can you hear me okay? Thank you for coming today. We just finished an in-person meeting with David Kearns, who you all interviewed yesterday, as a result of his agency's findings into the hangar collapse. The families of Mariano Cococh and Mario Sontaisi were very pleased that the agency found what their loved ones had been complaining about, and that we all saw as a result of a horrible collapse. On behalf of the families, we applaud the efforts of the federal government. And this is only the beginning of what we're doing. The families want justice, but you're dealing with good people. And they also don't want anybody else in this state to die in vain, as our clients did and as their family members did, because the good old boy network, one way or the other, thinks they're protected in this region of the United States. And it's very apparent, obviously, at least in the lawsuit that we filed with the allegations that we made, that there was a lot of that going on. There was a lot of, it's going to be okay. We'll be fine. Let's make more money and cut corners and ignore all the safety developments in their own project. And the question we ask is, how do you look the other way when it's your own project and you're ignoring all those clues? Does it make you feel better at night to know that you changed the system? You feel better about yourself because your practices kill people? And so the families of these young men that died want justice. Now, we're in this beautiful building, and my colleague and I are clearly going to get justice. We are not going to stop until this case is adjudicated and done. A lot of the times, lawyers in my position, our position, my colleagues' position. We often wonder if people are going to do a good job, if they're actually going to be human, if they're going to admit that a mistake was made, and they're going to want to remedy the situation of things and matters. That's a little historical for all of you. I invited all these companies to at least engage in a dialogue before OSHA found what OSHA found, and as the steel sat, sadly, at the airport. And there was interest, but that interest was never realized. Someone is to blame. We believe we have the right parties to the suit. As a matter of fact, the OSHA findings that are totally independent from ours corroborated a lot of what we've been telling you. And we don't like to litigate. Obviously, we like to share our experiences with all of you. We don't like to litigate in the media. But don't also think that families in Guatemala and other workers in the state of Idaho and in the Northwest are not wondering, why are these practices continuing to occur, and why are these companies continuing to engage in the patterns that they engage? Our clients want justice. We manifested to the OSHA director that if they needed the families of Mario and Mariano to participate in their independent process, their clients would do so. The project at the airport was a very large project that needed to be handled with a lot of responsibility, and unfortunately it was not. We have witnesses and information that believe that those practices are not new. Those practices have been going on for years here in this state. And a lot of the times, and I'm thankful to you all, it takes this type of broadcast for people to open their eyes to say, hey, we the people here of this state, we're good people. And we don't like these sort of things. And we like to do the right thing. Well, we'll wait and see to see if these companies are going to do the right thing or not. What we manifested to the OSHA director is that we don't want to see any more death in the state. And we hope that they utilize any and all resources available only to them to make an example out of this horrible tragedy. If the companies want to engage us, and they want to talk, and they want to be reasonable, and they want to come forward because something went royally wrong and they know about it, we're open for dialogue. Otherwise, I can't wait to sit a jury here in this courthouse and get true justice that people from Idaho are capable of delivering. It's very sad when these companies put out public statements saying, we're a small family company. We're just small, nestled in the Northwest, and we love our employees. Unfortunately, that doesn't sit too well with my clients, who, because of their dangerous and willful and intentional practices, our clients are dead. That ain't cool. You want to get sympathy by saying you're small and small-based? Follow the rules of decency. Then adhere to industry standards. Do the job right. So we applaud OSHA. We hope the penalties stick. As a matter of fact, our clients are in a position to be able to cooperate with OSHA and any other federal agencies that eventually might or might not get involved in the near future, independently of what we're doing here civilly at the courthouse. In conclusion, and I'll open it up for some questions, I truly hope that our clients' debts become a staple and make these companies truly change for the better, so that these sad situations don't have to be repeated. They might have gotten away from it for many, many years until the disaster we all saw on TV. They can get away from what they did, and we truly hope they learn. Our only remedy is to be in this courthouse. Thank you, media, for covering these events. I'm going to encourage, again, anybody that is looking at the broadcast to please come forward if you have any more information that's beneficial. Yes, we are seeking monetary remedy. That is our only recourse. My clients are dead, but it's a bigger fight. We don't want anybody here to be subjected to these bad practices anymore. So thank you for coming. Thank you for covering the event, and I'll open it up for some questions.
Great question. Anything from the OSHA report, did any information in their report, A, surprise you, and B, does that change anything with your lawsuit that you filed years ago?
One, I'm not surprised. We had our own set of experts come to very similar findings. Obviously, they do safety all day. They have a different agenda, another code that regulates them. We applaud their efforts for actually doing as thorough a job as they did. Change in what we did. You'll see us tweak a few things, enhance a few facts. But I think we were both complaining of the same bad practices by these entities.
You have 2 other companies listed in the lawsuit, a total of 4, correct?
Correct. And we understand that it was Big D that carried the brunt of the sites. Severe violations, according to OSHA, are just what they sound. They're severe. But when OSHA comes down with a violation that is deemed willful, that's intentional. It's an intentional act. It's premeditated. That's what it means. You ignore any and all warnings. You ignore safety regulations, and you still say, we're doing it. And you know better than it's not going to work, but you do it. And then the disaster happens, and everybody's running for the hills, and nobody wants to take responsibility. It's a hot potato game. And the point we make is the equivalent of when you were young and you were playing ball outside and you send the ball and you break a glass and everybody runs, but then eventually it catches up to you. You say, it was me, I did it, and I'm sorry. Where is that type of remorse when you kill people? Where is it? And that's what's concerning. We haven't seen it, except exculpatory reactions. Oh my God, we're good and we're small, and what does that mean? That's why I say people from Idaho will sit here in this courthouse, will listen to our evidence as we propound it, and we're very confident that if this case is not resolved, we're going to clearly get a sizable verdict. Go ahead. I do not, and I want to be totally clear. No, I do not, and I do not speak for the OSHA or the federal government of what they're doing. We are totally independent. Victims have rights under OSHA, but it's in their corner, and I don't know what happens and what they're going to do with the file. All I can tell you is, if provided other federal agencies picked up the files, my clients have already authorized us to support them and be a part of them because they don't want anybody else to die under these circumstances.
What kind of reaction did the families of Mario and Mariana have when they heard about the results of this investigation?
They were sad to know that the deaths of their loved ones could have been prevented if companies followed the rules. However, they were very happy and applauded the efforts of OSHA's office for doing such an in-depth investigation and wanting to hold those responsible accountable.
I heard that the company at one point was raising money. Did your clients ever get any money from the company for medical issues?
The answer is no. And I'm going to be very careful with this statement. We didn't like the way the supposed grassroots effort situation got raised and who was behind it. And for as much as the families of Mariano and Mario were in desperate need, we decided not to participate in that.
Do you want to see OSHA investigators refer this case to the U.S. Attorney's Office? And if you do, why?
OSHA's going to do what OSHA thinks they're going to do. And I will answer it like this. The families of Mariano and Mario want justice. When someone engages in what could potentially be criminal behavior, you call the police, they show up, they take an account of what happened, and then eventually someone gets charged or not charged. the families ask a question. If there are these rules in place that you intentionally choose to violate, at least that's what the initial report found. Their simple question is, why is there not more consequences for you? I get it. We have civil consequences. The United States is a country of laws. They know of other cases where there's been willful violations that clearly U.S. attorneys have at least started to investigate and take. So if you were to ask the families per se, they would say, we will cooperate with any federal agency because we want justice. And if justice means that the Department of Justice chooses on their own motion, under their own rules and set of circumstances, to get involved in this matter because they feel it's merited, then my clients are going to support it. So in a nutshell, Dawn, Mario and Mariana are dead. If they would have been shot, the police would have been involved. There would have been a whole investigation on it. But this is civil. It happened at the airport. They clearly have the jurisdiction to it. And my clients are in a position that they will support anything OSHA and or potentially the U.S. Attorney decides to do in this situation. Go ahead. I don't want to opine on that. I'm going to be very careful on that. Only the U.S. Attorney, only OSHA, in combination after the penalties. Remember this, just like my complaint has very specific allegations, the United States is a country of laws in which the defendants are afforded the opportunity to defend themselves and dispute my allegations. So we've reported a lot in our complaint, but I will clearly abstain from that because it's not in our realm nor power. We will just be supportive of whatever the authority decides to do. Yeah. That's a very good question, and I'm glad you're asking it. I've stressed that at least the way I practice law, my colleague practices law, we like to do our investigation. We like to be thorough. We like to talk to as many witnesses as we can. We like to gather evidence and hire experts and look at the codified laws that the state affords us to find a remedy. It was unclear, and let me step back. It took us almost 5 months to file a lawsuit. We didn't file a lawsuit February 15th, nor February 30th, nor March 1st, nor March 15th. It was a process. When we sent out the tort claim notice, statute says that we have 6 months from the event. We had certain findings that supported the sending of that notice letter to the city. And we did send it, and we sent it in the amount of $30 million, and it made news. We continued our investigation. We talked to more witnesses. We got some reports. And then we found that Big DSPS Spec Steel in concert drafted a second set of plans that were 25 to 30% less efficient than the first set of plans, ordered certain materials, plans did not have an engineering stamp, they were never presented to the city for approval and for corroboration and analysis. So, knowing that lawsuits matter, we just are not those type of people that'll just sue to see what happens. We sue because we have enough facts supported by evidence, supported by expert testimony, that'll make us get a sizable verdict in this building. That's what we do as lawyers. We build a puzzle, and then we go present it to the public. So we found, as of now, sufficient grounds to involve the city northern engineers. I don't know what we're going to get in discovery. As you all know, the defense is going to defend themselves, and there is a process called discovery by which we send documentary requests and we can take depositions that are taken under oath. If we discover additional evidence that we haven't considered, we'll see what happens. But as of now, we opted not to because the evidence just did not support it.
As of today, no one from those four companies listed in your lawsuit, including Big D and Inland Crane, they have not contacted you directly or your office?
Oh, I have been in touch with attorneys for Big D, SBS, Spec Steel, and Inland Crane since about 5 months ago. The fact that you and or esteemed counsel on the other side is representing a corporate client doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be antagonism between ourselves and them. We can drink a cup of coffee, we can chat, we can talk, we can converse, we can agree on destruction protocols and collection of evidence and photographs and the rest. So I am in contact with them. I do talk to them.
Any indication what might happen next from their standpoint?
It's early on after we filed our suit. As you all know and read, I don't think too many people want to make too many comments after the OSHA report. They claim this pending litigation. I am so public that it's very easy to dig my name and my phone number and give me a call and or text me or email me if you want to get together and do the right thing. And we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. However, I gotta tell you that I have no personal beef with any of the lawyers defending these companies. They're doing their job. And to the extent we can be comrades and ethical and treat each other with respect, that's what we will do.
But as of today, we're going to court.
As of today, we're in this federal building, and I encourage you all to continue to see what goes, because what we wrote is what we believe, and we can back it up. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Don't get me talking.